Hi there guys, Tony here from Caveman Props. Well, I've got a fun little project here for you today for the tutorial. It all kind of like started the other day. I'm working on another project. For that project I ordered some of these. This is a foam tube. So it's like the foam that you're using, it's a foam dowel, so it's a nice solid dowel. So I'm using this on another project. If you subscribe to the Facebook page, you might see that come up soon. But obviously I had these laying around and I was with my daughter and she had one and I had one, and like every kid, big or small, it's like the tube out of the wrapping paper. At Christmas time it automatically becomes a lightsaber. So we had a little play about using these and had an epic lightsaber battle. Well, probably that's the way it appeared in our heads. We had a lot of fun. After that, I had these and I was just like, could I use these to build a lightsaber? It would be extremely lightweight and quite easy to build. So that's my plan. If you may remember, if you regular last year, I built the replica of Luke Skywalker's lightsaber from the first two films. That was built out of junk PVC piping I found laying around. This is still quite lightweight, but I'm sort of thinking, could I build one from this? So I've kind of decided to go with the lightsaber from Return of the Jedi. So it's still Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, but the one he had in Return of the Jedi.
I see you have constructed a new lightsaber. Your skills are complete.
So I'm going to sit down, we're going to plan this out, and I'm going to show you, hopefully, fingers crossed, how you can build a replica lightsaber from foam dowels. Okay, so to make a start on this, what I've done is I've drawn out a plan and tried to scale it up to the foam dowels that I have. So I'm going to start with the 40mm wide one, and we're going to work our way back from that. But then what from this is I can work out what pieces I need. I was going to use a 60mm piece, but I didn't have a 60mm piece of foam, so I've kind of shortened it down a little bit. So I need all the pieces, so I can cut all of these as I want. If anyone's wanting to, I can post this on our Facebook page if people want to follow along, just so you know which pieces to use. So we're going to make a start with the back end here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a one of these sticks to just go down the middle, just to hold everything together so it's not all flimsy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with our large 40mm piece, which is the 10mm part. Cut everything here, and what I've also done is I've also done the holes into them to begin with, so I can slide this through. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that. So for the 50mm part that sits on top of that, what I've done is I've also cut the hole out, so that's going to go on there like that. These also have a slight seam to them, so what I'm going to do is make sure all the seams are together. So that's going to go on there like that, and we'll start building down. So obviously then I need a 20mm part. I think this is going to make it nice and easy, like a jigsaw. Then the 10mm part. So this is going to build everything down, and we're going to have a bit that goes on the end here, so it's going to be covered up. There, so it's the 10mm part, so then I need the 30mm part. A really skinny 40mm part. And there like that. Then another 20mm part. I haven't put the hole in this, so we can get it. So you can see the gist of what I'm doing here. Some of it's not quite even. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these on, glue them all into place, lined up evenly, and start putting it together, and I'll show you. So I'll get this bit done pretty quickly because all the pieces I've already pre-cut. Okay then, so there we go. I'll put this all together now. Having the pieces already pre-cut, set up and just ready to go, so it just basically goes together like a jigsaw. So we've got this end part, and then obviously this will go on to the handle base here. And what I've done is I've made sure all the seams have pretty much lined up, so when I put it together they can all be hidden at the back. I'm just going to finish off the end bits on here. So I've got the large bit here with the hole I cut, and I'm basically going to glue that in. I'm just using normal super glue for this. It holds in quite nice. When you're doing this section, always glue on the smaller bit so you don't go too far over, so the glue goes on the smaller bit, it sticks on. And for this, I'm just going to line it up. Get that on like that. Oh, I've kind of missed the seam a little bit, thought I was off. Right, so once that's on, what we need to do is we're going to take this last little bit of 10mm, a bit of glue on there, and this is going to be our bit on the end here, so, and that will then cover up the stick bit that we had there. So that is the end of this, all pretty much done. So I've got the large bit for the handle here, that's going to go in like that, so I'm going to glue that in nicely, and then hopefully I've got the smaller bit for the bottom here, and then it's just the last few little bits of detail that we need to add to it. On to the details. I've cut these little pieces out of a scrap piece of 10mm foam mat. They're literally just 2mm along the bottom, mil on the top, and cut out, and I did them in a line a bit like that, so I could just cut the line and slot them out nice and easy. So these are going to go around here, so I'm going to even them out and basically do one side, and then even them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a hole in one of them, because obviously it's going to need the ring to go in it, but it also gives me somewhere to be able to hang it up for the painting and drying. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to put a hole in one of these, and then we're going to glue them around. So pretty much just the same. Even them on. Now obviously the bottoms of these are flat, and we're sticking them to a rounded surface, so they need to be pushed on quite well to make good connection. That's what we're going to do. So these ones are then going to glue two on the side, that one on the bottom, so they're going to go round the bottom hilt like that, and then we're going to work on the little detail that's going to go here with the on-off switch. So I'm going to get these on, get one with a hole in the middle of it, and I'm going to work on the last little bit. There we go, so I've put these bits on. I've also put the ring on this now. I suddenly thought if I was to paint it and then try and get the ring on it, I'm probably going to damage some of the paintwork. So to have it on now, that's going to help me to hang it for painting, and I won't damage it afterwards. Okay, for the last little bit of detail, it's this. I've literally just cut this block out of the other piece of 10mm foam, but then I've used a piece of 2mm foam and cut the same shape with a window out of it. It's going to be my little recess bit, and I'm going to just glue that onto about there, I think, and have it for there. So we're going to get some glue on the back, make sure it's covered evenly. I'm just going to make sure that that's nice and even, straight. Get that on there like that. So there we have it. So basically this is now done. All I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this over with the heat gun just to seal the foam, give it a quick coat in the latex, prime it, and then I'm going to paint it a gloss black, and then I'll show you how we're going to finish it off after that. Okay then, so here we go. So this has now been coated, primed, and then I sprayed it with a gloss black straight black paint. Now I know you're probably saying most of this is actually silver, not black. The reason I wanted to put the gloss black on is because then that gives me a better base for the silver to go on rather than just the primer. So with the gloss black on here, once I put the silver on, it's going to be a little bit more metalified rather than just a silver metallic paint onto foam. So that's what we're going to go for, so it's more layers. And what I'm going to do, instead of trying to mask this off and put the silver on and the other bits, I'm going to use a different technique, and I'm going to use a technique called dry brushing. If you've a regular to the YouTube channel, you've probably seen me use dry brushing before. We take the paint, the brush, we pretty much dry it down, and then we're going to work on it slowly. And what that's going to do is it's going to add more of like a brushed metal effect to it, because obviously we're using the brush and we're using it ever so gently around it and just brushing a bit of metal on. That means that I can do the ends of these nicely without going on the inside. That means the black's on the inside then as well, and I can just brush metal all the edges and the bits that need to be silver, and then I can work on the rest of it and get this bit sorted. So we're going to do the dry brushing bit now, and obviously I'm going to do it in stages, so I'm going to do a bit, leave it, and then do the other bit, and then we'll come back to add the finishing details. Okay, so we're going to use a little bit of the silver metallic paint here. I'm going to brush a lot of it off, and using our brush we're going to very carefully just brush this on. I think that's still a little bit too much. I'm going to take a little bit off. So there you can see we're kind of getting the brush metal effect going in there. So we're going to work our way around this bit, get all the details in. Obviously what I'm going to want to do is put some detailing on these ends. So we're just going to brush metal these bits up, hopefully just like that. It's not going to be a solid silver, it's going to be brush metal. It's going to add that kind of more used effect. It's going to add that effect of being more actual metal rather than us just painting foam. So it's the little techniques that we use just to bring a foam prop to look more than just a foam prop. It should bring it out, and you see as you obviously go on, it gets a little bit better, and then we'll just have to add a little bit more paint. You can see, so it works well for these bits, and obviously the main body bit's going to be a bit longer to do, but it just gets these bits silvered up, and once it's all done, that will look brilliant because they will then pop against the black. I'm going to try and, there's a little seam here, it's missing that, which is a good weathering technique because I don't want the seam there. I've kind of done a little bit extra in there to get rid of it. So I'm going to carry on with this. I'm going to get the rest of this done, the handle, the end bit here, leave this very top bit, and then we'll crack on and we'll get all the other bits done. Okay, just before I hang it up to dry, I just wanted to show you how I've gone here. I've gone quite heavy with the dry brushing. The reason for that is, if you've watched something like the Mandalorian build that I did a little bit of dry brushing because there's two different ways in which to do it. The Mandalorian blaster, I was trying to look like it was silver that had been painted black and the wear had come through and you could see all the silver coming through. Here I'm trying to make it look silver and that it's just a bit dirty and a bit worn, and that's what I'm going to go for here. So for this I went a little bit heavier, whereas before I kind of went a little bit light around the edges just to make it look like the paint, black paint was flecking off, whereas here I'm trying to make it look like it's silver, just a bit dirty, and then obviously black and through the middle there, so it's not like a solid piece. So I'm going to hang this up, let it dry, and then I'm going to work on this end bit and add the last few details to it. Okay, so there we go. So I've let this bit dry and then I've just done the silver bits on the end here. So I've got all that up. What I'm going to do now is I've got some of the gold. So we're going to use a little bit of the gold, and what we're going to do is going to repeat the process now on these bits. We're going to colour these bits in gold. Also, I'm going to tell you is I did this little bit in here. This is a little bit of like aluminium tape that I sprayed silver before for the previous one. So I had a bit of that left over, so I cut a bit of that and drawn some lines on it. So that's made that bit in there. And now we're going to add the detailing around here. So make sure we're getting all these bits that need to be sort of goldy bronze colour. Obviously this is going to go more bronze because obviously we're putting it against a black background, so that's why I've gone for the gold rather than a bronze, because a bronze wouldn't show up quite so much off of the black background. Oh, it's a bit too much there. That's not a problem. You can work that around. So it's just a case of colouring these bits in. That bit in. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to try and do the edges around here. These should be gold as well where we've done the taping. I'm just going to do that bit now. Done that. Done this bit in around here. Gold. It might need a second coat of the gold because obviously being against the black, but I think that's pretty much not too badly gone in there. I'm just going to double check my reference images that I'm working from. So yeah, that's the bit in there that then needs to be gold. What I'm also fancying doing is doing this little bit in here gold. If I can, I might need to get a smaller brush and just working this bit. I might just go back around it again with the silver once done. Maybe I should have done that before doing the silver. There we go. You live and you learn. So there we go. So that's that. So I'm just going to let this dry, and then we should be pretty much there. So there we go, guys. That is now all finished. That is the Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi lightsaber, made completely out of foam this time. So I think that's come out pretty well for just a foam prop, and it literally went together. I had the body built in one day, and then it's just a couple of days just doing the paint and the details. So it was a really quick build, and I really enjoyed doing it. You know, I'm going to look at some of the other lightsabers. Maybe I can do that as well. I've seen the Leia lightsaber would be quite an interesting one to try and do this way as well. So I might have a go at that one, and I'll post pictures up on our Facebook page. But there we go. Please like, please subscribe. Let me know which one you think is your favourite lightsaber, the Return of the Jedi or the original one. Leave me a comment in the below. Let me know which one. Maybe you like a completely different one. Comment that as well, but just let me know which one is your favourite. Please like, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video very soon.